possibility that reasonable doubt would prevail. Portia refused to stop believing in her husband, while Trina convinced herself that justice would eventually expose the flaws in the prosecution's case. Instead, their worst nightmare becomes reality. The courtroom falls completely silent as the foreperson stands and announces the verdict. Guilty. One simple word changes countless lives forever. Curtis struggles to process what he has just heard. Portia immediately breaks down in tears while Trina sits frozen in absolute disbelief. For a brief moment, it seems as though time itself has stopped. Every sacrifice, every emotional testimony, and every desperate attempt to save Curtis ultimately proves unsuccessful. The judge wastes little time moving to sentencing. Considering the severity of the conviction, Curtis receives 10 years in Pentonville. The sentence lands like an earthquake throughout Port Charles. Friends and family watch helplessly as officers prepare to take Curtis into custody, knowing that a decade behind bars could permanently reshape every relationship he leaves behind. The devastation on Portia's face says more than words ever could. She knows that her family may never truly recover from this tragedy, while Trina is forced to confront the horrifying reality that her father will soon disappear behind prison walls. Meanwhile, outside the courthouse, emotions threaten to boil over as another relationship reaches its breaking point. Jordan can barely contain her emotions after the verdict. Throughout Curtis' legal battle, she held on to hope that justice would prevail, even when the evidence appeared overwhelming. Hearing the judge hand down a 10-year sentence feels like watching someone rip apart the future of an entire family. Instead of quietly accepting the outcome, Jordan directs all of her anger toward Isaiah, believing he failed to do enough when it mattered most. Their confrontation quickly escalates into one of the episode's most emotionally charged moments. Jordan accuses Isaiah of standing by while Curtis' life was destroyed, insisting that everyone who claimed to care ultimately abandoned him when he needed them the most. Isaiah refuses to accept the blame, arguing that the legal system, not one individual, is responsible for the verdict. He reminds Jordan that countless people fought to save Curtis, but facts presented in court ultimately convinced the jury. Jordan refuses to hear it. Every explanation only fuels her frustration. She insists that excuses cannot erase the reality that Curtis is heading to Pentonville. Years of friendship and mutual respect begin to crack under the weight of grief, leaving both of them wondering whether their relationship can survive such a devastating loss. While Jordan struggles with overwhelming guilt and anger, Portia experiences heartbreak of a different kind. Watching Curtis being led away in handcuffs is almost too much for her to bear. She reaches for him one last time before the bailiffs separate them, promising through tears that she will never stop fighting for his freedom. Curtis tries to remain strong, encouraging Portia not to lose hope. But the sadness in his voice reveals that even he isn't certain whether justice will ever be served. Trina suffers in silence. Unlike her mother, she cannot find the words to express what she is feeling. She simply watches as her father disappears through the courtroom doors, realizing that birthdays, holidays, graduations, and countless family milestones may now pass without him. The emotional impact of that realization threatens to change Trina forever, potentially pushing her toward choices she never imagined making. Back at the Quartermain estate, Michael gives Willow time to absorb the impossible decision standing before her. The silence between them becomes almost unbearable. Every second that passes reminds Willow that the life she carefully constructed is collapsing piece by piece. She attempts one final emotional appeal. Willow insists that everything she did was motivated by fear and desperation. She claims she never intended for events to spiral out of control and begs Michael to remember the woman she once was. She reminds him of the family they built together, hoping those memories will soften his resolve. Instead, Michael delivers perhaps his harshest response yet. He tells Willow that the woman he fell in love with would never have hidden a shooting, lied repeatedly to protect herself, or attacked the father of her children with a rolling pin. According to Michael, every decision Willow has made recently has placed Wiley and Amelia in greater danger. The trust between them is not merely damaged, it has been completely destroyed. Those words hit Willow harder than any legal threat ever could. For the first time, she realizes that Michael is no longer trying to repair their relationship. He has accepted that the marriage is beyond saving. Everything he does now is focused entirely on protecting